Yeah, the wind is actually crazy over here too, so I don't doubt it. Plus, we have a little bit of like hail or something going on.
It's blowing all the damn Christmas ornaments, like all the decorations we put up in front of our house. So I have to keep going up on a ladder and fixing them all.
My neighbor has a dish on their, well, not even a dish, a receiver for like digital over air, and it just like fell off like 5 years ago. And I just went upstairs and I could just hear it like just bashing against the top of their roof. And I'm just waiting for the cable to snap and it just flies into someone's window.
Yeah, last year we had a tree. We have a tree that has like multiple trunks or something. It's like a weird tree. I don't know what it is. Anyway, half of it fell over last year. And now we're just waiting for the wind to come and, destroy the rest of it. As long as it goes away from the house, because it's right beside our kitchen window. I was like, fuck. I hope that
sounded like the house I grew up in. We had 2 apple trees that were given to me by my godparents when I was born, and we planted them in the backyard, and they grew like full size. And then we had like a really nasty storm one year, and one of them got struck by lightning and fell out, like just basically uprooted itself and fell over. And we had to keep constantly going out and pushing it back in so that it would reroot itself. And anytime there was a heavy windstorm, this tree would just topple over again. And we'd be back out there pushing it back up.
Would it still give apples though? Would it still?
Yeah.
Really?
It still had roots running through and everything like that. It just kind of pulled itself loose.
Well, speaking of,
we had to just keep shoving it back in.
Oh, that damn tree's falling over again. You kids get out there and you push it back in the ground.
Well,
you talk like that, but I'll also point out that at the time we had a pet chicken that we used to run around in the backyard. So we were those folks.
There's chickens all over the backyard.
It's what it is. And speaking of the gifts that keep on giving, like that apple tree, we are Geeks with Kids, the bi-weekly geeky podcast from a parenting point of view. I am your host this week, Eric, and every week.
It's not true. I've hosted like 3 of these.
Sometimes Dave.
Sometimes Dave. That's true.
Dave's host.
That's fair. And, joining me this week are a bunch of people here. There's Dave, who's always here. Marcus, who's here most of the time. He's busy, though. He has a life. And then Brent, who lives on the Discord as well as me. And we also have a special window here. Brent?
Window?
Like a little,
I'm not special.
Not you.
Introduce.
No, I've decided I've invited my good friend Sean, who is because I felt like we needed to balance out the number of geeks with kids versus geeks without kids. So we brought another geek with kid in. Yeah. So I've invited him to join us, and I'm gonna throw the floor to him for Sean to tell us why you're here. Explain your geek cred.
Yeah,
to us
like usually when we have people come on, we're like, yeah, you say you're geeky, but tell us why. Why are you on this show? Prove it, damn it.
Pull out your nerd card.
Okay. I just want to.
We all leave and just let you do the rest of the show.
I want to preface this by stating that my son's first name is a character from Magic the Gathering, and that is specifically where we got it from.
My second daughter, her name is from Mass Effect. So
Amazing.
It's weird to name your kid Rorik's Bladewing, but I can get behind that. It's a 6/5 flyer with haste. It's a good card. I understand.
Oh man, what's your main fandom? Do you like video games, sci-fi, movies, books?
TTRPGs. I play Pathfinder First Edition, Mongoose Traveler Second Edition, and RuneQuest 6th Edition once a week, every week.
Dave, explain. I'm just joking. That's awesome.
I didn't know Mongoose was still publishing. I should check.
I'm gonna also refer to you as a board game aficionado because you are the one who got me into God knows how many games at the game nights at your house.
Oh,
like you were the person who finally explained what fucking Munchkins was to me.
Had you never played Munchkin before? Oh, fair.
I still don't fully understand, but I've played it with them.
Munchkin is simple. You flip the card, you either fight the monster, or if it's some other stuff, you get the stuff, and if you kill the monster, you get the treasure, you gain a level. What's the problem?
Or you die.
Yeah, you die, and then you start over.
Maybe he's bad at explaining.
Yeah, I play lots of RPGs, and I play Magic the Gathering. I play Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar, and lots of video games.
So you're saying I should create a board game discussion group on the Discord? Because I feel like you and Steve would be right on.
Steve, I feel like him and Steve would get along really well.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome.
And there you go. Now we got another person too if we decide to go ahead with that board game stream.
Yes. We're thinking about doing, because we want to play more games together and stuff. We want to do maybe a board game online, or the Jackbox party and all that random shit like that. I think Secret Hitler is online as well.
You can play
Using
Secret
like
Hitler
TGS
online.
or something.
Something like that. I don't really know what. We haven't really thought about it. We're just like, you know what? It'd be fun to play board games online.
It was another one of Eric and I's, like, we're both awake at 3 a.m. ideas.
I was
Which
testing.
Usually results in us coming up with a lot of ideas and also spending a lot of money on websites we shouldn't be spending money on.
It's
There's
true.
websites you can play, like Agricola or whatever you want to call it, like stuff like that. Like you can just play this stuff for free online. It's not illegal or anything. They're just available online.
Depends. Might be illegal. Some of them probably are.
And that's what we like here. I don't know. Sorry, I was just fixing something on the stream. Yes. So we're not going to do what's good this week, because this whole episode is what's good. What's good of the year 2020 part 2, or 2021 as some people call it. I don't know. This year has been a sort of a jumble of stuff. So we wanted to do stuff that was released this year, but a lot of people have sort of just melded the last 2 years to go together. So if you don't pick something from that was released this year, I'm cool with it. But something you discovered this year at least. What do you think? Should we do movies? Let's do movies first.
Yeah, we should do movies.
Let's do movies first. Dave, what's your movie of the year?
Well, because we're all going to be wrong come December, at the end of the December, right? Because it's going to be
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. It's going to be the best movie this year.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's another one coming out this year that I was like, oh, I wish it was released before this.
Matrix?
I think it. No. What's it? The new Adam McKay. Don't Look Up.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
really,
That comes on
really
Netflix
excited
in
for that
2
one.
weeks, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. It
So
comes
we're
out.
gonna record an addendum episode where we're just like, you know what? Actually,
That's the best. Yeah. Some show comes out December 29th. Like, this is really good. My favorite movie this year.
Cobra Kai season 4 comes out on New Year's Eve.
Witcher 2 is coming out soon.
Oh God, I can't wait. That's next week. Wrath of Man. Have you heard of Wrath of Man?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't shut up about it. It's based on a novel. It is directed by Guy Ritchie. It stars Jason Statham.
Fuck off!
What?
I thought no one was going to pick this.
I went
100%. I was like, I am safe with this.
Before, you know why? It's because when it came out, you hadn't joined the podcast yet, and
It's
I told
true.
everybody to go watch it.
David told me to watch this
it.
movie, and I was like, yeah, this movie's fucking awesome.
It's really fucking good. This movie is like exactly up my alley. Like I love
All right,
Guy
I'm going to
Ritchie
number
stuff.
2.
Oh man. Well,
sad.
you could take it, and I'll choose The Green Knight because that was my.
No. Go ahead. I have a number 2 and I have a number 3.
Is your
so
number
I'm
2
just- I
Shrek?
legitimately thought there is no chance that anyone else is going to pick this movie. I thought
just
this
don't
was
know
going to
how
be
much I
such a
love
wild
movies.
card. Yeah, apparently neither of us know how much we love Guy Ritchie. So
Yeah. So Wrath of Man is the synopsis is mysterious and wild-eyed. A new security guard for a cash truck surprises his coworkers when he unleashes precision skills during a heist. The crew is left wondering who he is and where he came from. Soon, the marksman's ultimate motive becomes clear as he takes dramatic and irrevocable steps to settle a score. I mean, it's a Guy Ritchie film. There's some revenge involved. There's crime. There's
Jason
a lot of-
Statham.
Oh man, it's so good.
He's so good.
It's got an amazing. It's one of those movies you're like, well, this cast is so good that movie's gonna suck. Nope, not this one.
I
On
literally
Twitch,
just rewatched this 2 days ago to refresh my memory for this podcast to talk about it.
QQ is saying that Dave, you should have picked Shrek because that was the last movie you watched.
No, we watched Shrek 1, 2, and 3. I've been awake since 1:30 this morning. That's when we watched Shrek.
Watching
1, 2, and
Shrek.
3.
You've just been watching Shrek?
Because
That's
my
why you
friend's
stayed up?
Discord is not doing. They were like, "Well, I want to do Christmas, so you should do," because everybody loves Shrek in the Discord. I was like, "You should do Shrekmas."
Why didn't they do? Did you not do Shrek the Halls?
No, that's the whole point. Is you call it Shrekmas because there's already a thing called Shrek the Halls.
Oh,
There
yeah,
is-
I was
there
gonna
is a
say, did
Shrek
you
the
watch
Hall,
it as well? That's what I meant.
No, we only watched the first 3 movies. We got like 17 more movies to watch.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
That's fine. Cool. Any other thing about of that
It's on
Wrath of Man?
Netflix.
Yes, it is.
That's if you want to watch it, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So you've already paid for it. Just go watch it. It's fantastic.
It is. Well, let's go over to our.
What if we don't pay for Netflix?
Then it's also on the
Borrow one of
internet.
ours.
It's available through other.
We have a
We don't
service
question
called called Steve Plus. I hear it's really good. Sean, why don't you go next? What's your movie of the year?
My movie of the year this year is Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds.
That movie is
It was-
better than it should have been.
It's a lot
It was
of
way
fun.
better than I thought it was going to be, and the only reason I watched it was basically coaxed into doing so by my friend. They threw it on the TV while we were visiting, and I loved it. It was full of action and comedy and everything I love in movies, and explosions. Obviously, you know, it's really not a good movie unless something explodes for no reason.
And Ryan Reynolds, right?
Ryan Reynolds, who even though he did not win Sexiest Man Alive, I mean,
In our hearts.
I'd do it.
I think it's unfair that Paul Rudd wins that because the man doesn't age.
No, he's a vampire.
He has an
It's-
unfair advantage.
It's like Lestat winning. That's not fair.
Yeah.
I saw.
I imagine that Paul Rudd is in some kind of like Dorian Gray situation where out there's a portrait of him, and if he looks at it, he's going to suddenly turn into Paul Newman.
You know what's funny is the person who's played both those characters, Lestat and Dorian Gray, has never won Sexiest Man Alive, right?
Has Tom Cruise never?
Stuart
What?
Townsend,
Oh, Stuart Townsend.
Drew Townsend.
right?
Sorry, you went with the second Lestat, not the first one. Oh,
Yeah. Queen of
Ooh.
the Damned.
Yeah, Queen. Yeah, you know what? I can't even make fun. I like that movie a lot.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I also saw it when I was ridiculously stoned in university, so I liked a lot of things back then. I saw Free Guy in the drive-in with my kid. We saw Shang-Chi right before it, and she loved both. And now they play it at Costco, so whenever we go there, she's like, "I'm going to the TVs. I'm watching Free Guy." I was like, "All right, we have Disney Plus. You can do that too."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was available on Disney Plus, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so yeah, that was nice. And it was really soon afterwards, right? It was just like a month or two after it was released.
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I was sitting there waiting for it to come out so that I could watch it online and everything. And I got patient, so I was like, "Oh, I'll just go see it in the theaters." And then literally, as I got out of the theaters, I went home. It was online.
Just
I
a
got to see it in the theater at least.
You know
It
what
was a
though?
good
You
one.
help
It was a good one to
support,
see in the theater.
I'd
Yeah.
like theaters to keep existing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, that's why I keep on buying those giant ass popcorn buckets and collectible cups for movies I thought were all right. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on over to Marcus.
All right.
Marcus, what's your favorite movie? What's your yum movie?
A yum movie. Okay, so Green Knight was definitely on my list of movies.
Great
That
movie.
was-
Yeah.
Dune was also on that list too, but I'm gonna have to pick Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad.
There's fucking number 2.
Sorry, I freaking love that movie.
I swear to God, Eric, if you pick my number 3, I
Frank's gotta
quit.
go.
Don't worry, you're
last,
next, so
right?
you can take it anyway.
No,
Oh,
I
paid
trust.
here.
I think I know what you're gonna pick. That you're not gonna pick my 3rd. But for fuck's sakes,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Well, again, to be fair, we did when we did a talk about our Suicide Squad review day podcast. Like we all loved it.
oh
we were
yeah,
all,
we were all jizzing over that movie.
but
Like,
it just had absolutely, like, when I think back to the year of like all the movies I watched, like the movies that I listed that I didn't pick are good movies and I enjoyed them for different reasons. But when I think to what was my favorite movie, what had everything that I wanted, and what do I consistently want to keep going back to watch again, it's the Suicide Squad.
That's
And I
fair.
never would have thought that, especially after the Suicide Squad movie. I never thought I'd be in love with a Suicide Squad movie. But James Gunn did a great job with this, a great cast. They got it right. They have the right balance happening, and it was hysterical.
Yeah.
Well, turns out if you get a writer-director from the Marvel franchise and a bunch of people from Marvel movies, and then let them make a DC movie in the Marvel
hashtag
way.
justice for Milton.
That being said, I do think that the Black Adam movie is going to be pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I can't believe that movie was announced before Iron Man was announced.
Yeah,
it's
but
been in
we're
development longer.
still waiting.
That's crazy. What do you think about Peacemaker? I know we're not doing our.
I was going to say,
So
like,
excited
everything
for that.
that Suicide Squad was a great movie to begin with, but then on top of that, it led us to this series of Peacemaker that will be coming out. So like that also just gives it that extra bit of edge to make it such a good movie for the 2021 choice. But
I know it's
Peacemaker,
not a Marvel
really
show,
looking,
but
I think they actually.
I'm really hoping we're going to be watch partying that.
Yeah, it looks like a proper show. It looks like they actually are doing their homework here, and it looks really good.
I just don't want to like the guy who killed my Takeshi Kovacs, though.
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same sort of idea of like the love-hate relationship of certain characters. You know, like you kind of love it. Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like you kind of love
out a window. Like
yeah, like there's no in the end there's no redeeming it. He's an asshole and he tried to kill a kid and push him out a window. But at the same time, his journey, you were like, God, I kind of like him now.
Nope.
But then at the end, you're just like, no, it's okay that he dies. It's probably good that he dies.
He's sort of an anti-hero anyway in the comics, right?
Enough, and now Peacemaker won't suffer enough for me.
Well, that TV show comes out on January 13th, so it's going to be really, really soon. Looking forward to it. Anyone want to take another movie that on Brent's list before we let him go? No.
Yeah, I would like to.
Go for it, Brent.
No. I'm like I want. At this point, I'm legitimately interested.
Nope. Go.
I would be.
Just go.
No, if you went.
No,
if you
I'm
went
saying
first,
you. I'm hosting.
Stop.
I'm going last.
Stop
You're
being
next.
more Canadian than each other. Stop it.
Go, Brent. Go.
I'm not picking Dune.
right.
Don't worry.
I'm not picking Dune either.
I know what Eric's picking.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
No, my thought process behind like which movie was the best for me this year is like has nothing to do with like what I think the best movie is. It's what's the one that makes me want to go back and rewatch it over and over and over again. Like what's the movie as soon as you're done you want to turn it back on and rewatch it. For me that was Wrath of Man, but that was taken. So then it was Suicide Squad, and that was taken. So the third one this year that made me want to rewatch it over and over and over again was, thank God they fixed this franchise finally and came up with a good one, and that is Mortal Kombat. God damn, that version of Mortal Kombat this year was so effing good.
Wow. Remember when I said I thought we were all going to agree on everything?
Yeah,
was
that's fine.
any fighting? Fuck you, Brent. That's a terrible.
I'm sorry. I think it is fucking fantastic. It does play around with the origins a little bit, like and introduces new characters. I'm okay, but God, it was just
metal sweater.
Packed. It was bloody. It was fun. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous. But
It's like
things
if they
like that.
made a Street Fighter movie and there was no
Street
fighting
Fighting
involved.
Do you guys remember do you remember the picture montage that I sent you as I was watching Mortal Kombat? I need to send that to Brent.
It's the cover of
I don't.
It's the cover of
The
our
thing is
episode.
Oh, is
But
it?
the thing
Yeah.
is it's literally one of those movies that, in my opinion, is allowed to be ridiculous as long as it's fun, and that's what that movie was for me. That movie was a hell of a lot of fun.
You should listen to our episode because we did not have fun watching.
I gotta see if
Oh,
this
that's
is,
fine.
I mean, no. I
know
did
what?
have fun
This
watching
is-
the movie
this-
because Kano was great.
Kano was great.
Kano
was
is
the best.
he's
Kano was the
fucking
best.
phenomenal. Like
Everything else was
this is
terrible.
my anti Ghostbusters afterlife.
Is there?
So you're
Cinema
feeling
Sins? Cinema Sins made a 27-minute
That's-
video.
Good for them.
So-
Good for them.
so, Brent,
I don't care.
you-
I loved it.
You know how strongly you felt on Ghostbusters? That's how much I felt
Yes.
on Mortal Kombat. Like that's how much I hated that movie. Anyway,
that's perfectly fine.
You know
I
what? Because
absolutely-
personal
I
taste
just-
is different, right? I appreciate that you liked something that I didn't, and I like that someone got joy out of that movie that I wasted 2 hours of my life in. But there was no Mortal Kombat.
they never did.
Anyway,
That new
it's fine.
franchise. That's the thing. It's like that's where I'm allowed to. I can accept that because they're setting it up for a future franchise. And
Brent's the guy who goes to the
trying to
cereal
introduce the
aisle and
characters.
looks for the cereal that's already been shit in.
I'm gonna bring a little bit of musicalness to mine because I have two movies. Two movies that's my best movie of the year. Unless anyone wants to talk about Mortal Kombat more. No. I didn't think so. Well, I think it's
In my defense, my number 1 and 2 were taken.
it's available
So
on,
you went with the
on HBO,
lowest
right?
one possible on any list.
I think it's
It
still
wasn't
available on
even close
HBO.
anywhere on my radar, not even a little bit.
No,
I
not
forgot it came out.
No.
I forgot that was this year. Yeah, let's be honest. I have two movies this year. They're sort of tied because I love them both and I've watched them a lot. The first one is The Sparks Brothers, which is a documentary about the Sparks, which is a band. It's directed by Edgar Wright. and is the best documentary that I've ever seen because he does things and like explores themes of their music and their whole careers that, you know, I never appreciated before. Like I knew the band a little bit, but to see their influence on everything that has come since them, they're from like the, oh God, they've been around for a long time. The Sparks. God, when was their first album? 1966 was their first album, and they've been making albums since.
Yeah, wasn't it like this is the band that's been around, but no one's ever heard of them? And
Yeah,
that was like that was the concept of the documentary. I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, check them out. That movie was amazing. He also did Last Night in Soho, which is an amazing movie, but I'm not going to talk about that. My other movie, which I've watched a shit ton, is Tick Tick Boom. Which
seen it yet?
Oh, it's a movie that it's a show. It's a musical. It's a show that I wanted to do for ages. It was the second show I wanted to do after directing Rent back in like 2009, but was told not to because no one would go see it. I was like, okay, I guess that's fair. By the way, Marcus, you would have been Jonathan if I cast it.
In Broadway Couples, right before we did Rent, I did a song excerpt from Tick Tick Boom. It was the two after couple counseling thing, like the.
Yeah, I remember. That
was so much fun.
I was discussing this with Eric too when he was talking about the movie, Mark. But had the Tivoli not gone down, that was going to be the first show of that next season.
Oh,
Lauren had got the rights to it. He was already in pre-production on it, and then the building went down.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Tick Tick Boom is the story of Jonathan Larson. He actually wrote it as his second show after failing with his first. It's a beautiful movie musical. It's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. One of the sequences in it, Sunday Brunch, is like astounding. Like I don't even have words to explain how good of a musical sequence this is. So especially if you're a musical theater fan, that scene will make your jaw drop. Just yes. Yeah, I can't praise that movie enough. They did something that I couldn't like imagine. I think the soundtrack cast is actually better than the original off-Broadway cast. Whew, strange. I know that's a big thing. I'm looking at Marcus because he's musical theater and people, but yeah.
We haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I hear it's amazing.
It is. I watch it all the time. I was gonna put also Shang-Chi up there because my kids like it.
That was a good movie. That was a really good movie.
And my kids want to watch it all the time. They're like, Shang-Chi? I was like, okay.
I feel like Shang-Chi was like a really good movie. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping it would be, but it was pretty close. I feel like it was the redemption of, because I wasn't here when you guys did your review on it or anything, but like the redemption of the villain of the Mandarin or the dad. It was just kind of like.
I like if you watch the making of, they have an assembled episode on Disney Plus for Shang-Chi, and they talk about how Wang Shu was Wu Shen, sorry, my bad, was basically a villain because he'd always been searching for someone that would reciprocate. Like he was looking for love, and then as soon as that came to him and it was taken away, he like went back into himself, and then it's a phenomenal documentary. You should watch it. Yeah. Thumbs up. Again,
it's not that it was because it was a good movie, and like again, he did an amazing job. I think the whole cast actually did really good.
Yeah.
It was just like I was really kind of hoping we'd have a little bit more lingering of like there's still the Mandarin out there. He still might cause shit. Like I was kind of hoping for that sort of thing. I mean, we kind of still have.
Yeah, we have the 10 rings still.
Yeah, so it's still there. But I mean, like
they announced Shang-Chi 2 today, so it's going into production now. Nice. So that's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. More Canadian actors of color on screen. Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. What else? We're going to go over to TV. TV? Yeah, let's do TV. Dave, what's your favorite TV show of the year? I will be surprised. Also, before we get into TV, I would love to know your thoughts on Eternals, everyone. If you guys have watched it later off the podcast, because I have thoughts.
Did you watch it? Because I thought
I saw it.
Waiting.
I saw Eternals. I know Brent didn't want to watch it in theaters.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
I tried to get people to go, but you know.
I think our next movie review is going to be either The Matrix or Spider-Man. So.
Well, Spider-Man. Oh God,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Matrix.
Anyway, TV shows, Dave.
I actually put because just in case, you know, I put Cowboy Bebop up here because I really liked it, but I didn't watch the anime. But it's obvious. It's Midnight Mass. Yeah. It's fucking amazing.
I think that was probably would have been most of our top list,
but
you introduced me to it, so I'm happy to let you have it and gush over it.
Do I need to say anything about it? Because we did like a 3-hour podcast about how much we all fucking loved.
Do a quick summary for people who haven't seen it.
Okay.
I literally just went back and re-listened to the 3-hour podcast because I loved it so much.
You, Marcus,
okay, the smallest summary.
Okay, yeah, like here. This is the synopsis. It's not even a synopsis. It's like the first scene of the first episode. The arrival of a charismatic priest brings miracles, mysteries, and a renewed religious fervor to a dying town. So Midnight Mass released on Netflix September 24th, 2021. It is what's his name? Mike Flanagan vehicle. Yeah. Like he's done 2 different horror shows already on Netflix. He did Dr. Sleep. He writes and directs. It stars Kate Siegel, Hamish Linklater, Zach Gilford, Rahul Kohli. Like it's an ensemble cast. It's fucking phenomenal.
Hamish Linklater is just fucking unreal in that show.
So he was 3 Critics' Choice Award nominations. They got. He was nominated for Best Actor. Zach Gilford was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, and it was nominated for Best Limited Series. And I hope it wins everything. I hope it wins. Like I just hope it fucking sweeps like Emmys.
Agreed.
It's so good.
Marcus, I told Jen Moore to just watch it, and at like 3 a.m, she's like, "You son of a bitch!" Like the first night she watched it, she just kept on watching it. And I was like, yeah.
You'll put it on, and within 10 minutes, you will be like, I have to binge the entire show now. Like, you will not stop. And by the end of it, you will be a changed person.
Yes.
Like, it will eat a part of your soul.
How long are the episodes and how many episodes?
An hour.
It's seven episodes, like about an hour
each. Yeah.
So I need a full day.
Yeah.
I need like one good day.
Don't watch it in one day.
Here's the thing. You can watch the first episode. You can watch the first episode and then go do other stuff. If you watch the second episode, you're gonna have a very difficult time not finishing.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Right.
By the second episode is when that's when what the show is about starts to actually come, and you will not see it coming. Like
it's a show. It's basically what I've been. It was like, oh, this is the thing I've been waiting for in this genre. Oh, okay. We finally got it.
It was so surprising. I don't think your wife is gonna like it. Just to throw that out there.
I can picture that. Yeah, I kind of figured just from the images.
I don't think your dog's gonna like it either.
No.
It heads up very, very, very heavy religious overtones and undertones in the show. It's very heavy.
It is a religious town. It's like a small town.
One of the main characters is a priest, so
it's like coming up to Guelph. And up and north. Yeah, it's just like little religious towns. Also, thank you for the raid, Mishi. If anyone is in the Twitch chat and wants to write down their favorite movie, TV show, or video game of the year, let us know and we'll say it on the show.
For God's sakes, if you do that, please don't pick mine.
No, we will all pick it.
Everything will ruin this man.
Because I know right now, like I think most people probably already know what my TV show of the year is, and I'm staring at Mark right now.
That's why I'm going to Marcus before you.
I want Mark to go first.
I already know what yours is. Don't worry, Brent. I got you because I know what you have, and it's yours. Because I know you will do what I want to do anyway, so you're good.
Well, let's move over to Sean anyway. What's your favorite TV show of the year?
So my choice is actually a children's show. It's available on Disney Plus. And no, it's called Amphibia.
I just saw some of this on Imgur.
It's a story about a young girl and her friends get transported to a different world full of frogs and newts and toads that are people. Mm-hmm. And when my wife first introduced me to it, like last year, I wasn't super into it, and then I got like 5 episodes deep because my son was constantly watching it, and blew me away. It blew me away. Well, my son and my wife. He's too young to know any better, but she'll just put on whatever and just let it go, and I loved it. And the newest season came out this year and has been on one of the Disney channels. I don't remember which one.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus as well.
The new season's not out yet on Disney Plus, but it is. I have never sat down and cried this often while watching a children's show in my entire life, and I love it. It's amazing. Super like heartwarming moments between the frog people and the girl's family, and it's phenomenal. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, it is, as you said, on Disney Plus. Both the first 2 seasons. Honorable mention to Big City Greens, also on Disney Plus.
Have you seen the Owl House?
Yes,
it's also an amazing show on Disney.
That takes place in the same universe as Amphibia and Gravity Falls.
What? I didn't know they were all connected. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, they're all placed in the same universe, and there are Easter eggs between all 3 that you can see throughout the
Now I'm
series.
gonna have to rewatch all of them. Yeah,
they're really good.
Disney Plus has some really, really good shows for kids. Like Marcus is gonna pick. Bluey is on there as well.
Imagination Movers.
Yeah.
My son loves that. For children that good,
but it's actually good, not like shitty like kids show.
It's legitimately actually enjoyable for even adults. Like these shows are finally getting good.
Like I was saying to Marcus in the group chat, I was watching Bluey with the kids at my parents' house, and then me and my mom just watched Bluey when the kids went off to another room to play. We just kept on watching it.
That show literally, like, you would just get sucked in. You're like 5 episodes in, and you're like, ha 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 ha. Then that 5th episode hits you hard, and you're like, oh my god, and you start crying, and you just want to hold the child.
Yeah,
basically. They're crazy.
Is Bluey your favorite show of the year, Marcus?
No, but it's definitely close.
Yeah.
Well,
we're gonna do a kids category at the end too if we want a special thing. So we'll talk about that after.
For sure. So don't worry, Brent. I'm not going to pick your show. My show for 2021 is a show that started in 2020, but I only discovered it in 2021, and it's Ted Lasso.
Oh, this season was so. It's all good.
I did not finish this season
because that show, like it's the show. Life. It's a good show, but it's the show I needed to see. Mm-hmm. You know, like. First of all, I was telling these guys when we did one of the other episodes that I never watched it because when it did pop up, I just didn't have a love of Jason Sudeikis. That I was just like, nah, I just don't really want to see him do anything. Not really into it, and I just didn't think the premise would be that interesting to me. And also, just up until that point, anything that I'd seen on Apple TV Plus had not done anything for me, except for Mystic Quest and Central Park.
How is Mystic Quest? Because I haven't started that yet.
It's good.
It was good. It's really good.
Okay.
I think it's got room to grow and become better.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can definitely get better. But it was pretty good, and they got stopped because of the pandemic and everything, and they kind of addressed it, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to another season. But Ted Lasso was just the most heartwarming and funny, but at the same time so enriching. For a television show, and you realize that those kind of the characters that they represent are realistic. They feel real. They feel authentic, but they're also just people you wish you had in real life. You wish you had these people in your life.
I could die a happy man if I had a Roy Kent in my life.
Yeah, I know, right? He's here. He's there.
I'll headbutt people, guys. Just ask me.
So I
your beard is not nearly as nice as his.
That's true.
So I was at my kid's school a couple months ago, and I saw this little kid get in. They did something they fell off the jungle gym or something, and one of the teachers, because the kid was really angry and upset about it, she used the goldfish quote on him, and I was sitting there, I was like, "You son of a bitch, that's amazing." You watched Ted Lasso. I didn't go up to the teacher afterwards, and I was like, "I can't believe you actually used that in real life. That's amazing."
Just loved everything. And the crazy part about it is how for anybody who hasn't watched the second season, is how they've taken a character that you felt about one way and then completely flipped it by the end of a season or by the end of 2 seasons. And I can't believe they were able to do that so successfully and so like natural feeling.
Believably,
believably, absolutely believably. Actually, Brent, one of the things I noticed as I was watching it is you remind me a little bit of Coach Beard.
I like that.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I will take it. I wish I could have had an adventure on a town like he had.
Well, that's the thing. It just reminds me of like when we all used to hang out back in the day when we were all younger and stupid, and like just like we're like, where's Brent? What happened to Brent? And then somehow we just find out about a story afterwards, and but you would have no expression about it, just like, yeah, this happened. Yeah.
Okay. I'd always be wandering off and getting into shit.
It's just funny. Like it just kind of reminded me of, like, as I was watching, I'm like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Brent a little bit.
I like it. That's awesome.
But I just love the characters. Like, you just fall in love with all of them, and they're just so good. So I highly recommend to anybody who has not watched it yet, just do yourself a favor and watch that show.
Especially with there only one more season left. So
yeah.
I know.
Who would have thought that Jason Sudeikis could pull off a live-action Ned Flanders?
yeah, and make it like likable, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, so endearing, so
I
endearing.
love how he hates tea. I love how he hates the tea.
That's just garbage water.
Still terrible. I'm actually drinking tea.
Still
Right now.
terrible.
And it's the little things too. Like, it's like 2 seasons in, and still every time he walks into Rebecca's office, he always has that box in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a subtle little thing. They don't reference it. They don't call attention to it. But it's just like the little continuity things like that in the show that just make it even more endearing.
And Hannah Waddingham, who plays what's her name, the boss lady there, she's like an amazing actress because she hates those cookies, and every time she eats them, it looks like it's the best thing ever. Like, she hates them. Like,
That girl, she's got an amazing
Dedication
like,
right there.
holy crap.
yeah, she was the lady in the lake in the original West End Spamalot. So
That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
so awesome.
she is phenomenal. She's also in the Les Mis movie, if you guys remember that shitty movie.
The one with huge jacked man and Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yes, that one. Yes, that
And
one.
the guy that sings like this.
She's one
I
of the
saw
prostitutes.
that in theaters for some reason.
I saw that at a screening, and Gian
We're sorry,
Giomeshi
there
was
are
right
no
behind me.
refunds for this movie.
There is one good part that's so good about that movie, and it's when Russell Crowe dies. But it's the sound that he makes when he
sound
hits.
effect.
Because somebody in the damn editing room thought, you know what's really good? Like, guys, watch this. And he just threw in the sound of like a watermelon being cracked on the pavement. And they threw it in there, and it just made it so satisfying when you see his limp body just go.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this at one of our musical rehearsals.
Yep, we did.
Because
Yep.
I'm sure we ruined the rehearsal just by laughing at that for like 30 minutes.
For
Which is what we
sure.
do. What can we do? Ted Lasso, man, that's coming back next year, so I'm looking forward to
I
it.
can't wait.
Brent.
Yeah.
What's yours? What's your TV show, my man?
I think mine is pretty obvious. I have been absolutely gushing over this show for
I
the
still gotta
past
watch
2
it.
months and how good it is. It's
I'm so
it's
there with
Chucky.
you, man.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's the first time I've ever seen like a show that's based on a series of movies that has been so unbelievably faithful to its source material. Even in the later episodes, they even start referencing the third movie, which is the shittiest one. Like, they make references to that. The fact that like they call upon his military training because of the military school he went to. The fact that the high school in the show is named after his this female love interest from that movie. Like, little callbacks like that. And not just being able to reference all the old source material, but make it its own show and push the evolution of it further, push the storyline further, and
Have you said the movie
create
yet?
its
Have you
own
said the
voice.
show?
What's
I
that?
don't think have you actually said the name of the show yet?
Nope.
Chucky. Yeah, I said it.
No,
Did you?
You did you? I
I did.
I think.
He did. He did.
Oh,
Oh,
I
did you?
did.
Okay.
I just wasn't paying
Okay.
attention.
Okay.
No, I said it.
Okay.
But no, it's phenomenal. The cast is incredible. Seeing Devon Sawa back as an adult now and just absolutely
so
killing it in a dual role. He was great. And like them casting a lot of like horror movie icons and stuff like that, like Lexa Doig from Jason X playing like one of the lead characters in it. I love the fact that they play around with the sexuality of the characters in it. Like, they're not afraid to make like the 2 lead characters homosexual when they're like 14 years old. and the fact that they're not afraid to like kill off the teenage characters like is also impressive. Like I like anything that has the balls to do that. And the show keeps you guessing as it goes, because every episode just kind of steps up the evolution a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. I was a little disappointed by the ending. I think that they had something so phenomenal built up, and they kind of like hedged their bets a little bit and slowed down, and you realize, oh, it's because they're setting up for next season. I get it. But I would have liked to have seen where the direction they were going. I would have liked to have seen that play out now. But that's just me wanting, like instant gratification. So... But I mean, and like bringing back all the old characters, seeing Andy and Kyle back on the show, seeing Tiffany and what's Fiona Doris, Nika. The only criticism I will make about the show is it's a little jarring when they do the flashback sequences for Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany, like showing how they met, how they came to be. Spoilers about, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but like there's things that they reveal about the movies that we didn't know, but it's so jarring that they've dubbed Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly's voices over other actors. It's just, it kind of takes me out a little bit. It's a little bit weird because the guy who plays the younger Charles Lee Ray with Brad Dourif's voice just looks so weird. Like, it's just very bizarre.
Much rather just heard the guy's voice and just kind of suspended my disbelief on it and everything. Because he looked really good as a young Charles Lee Ray.
He does. It's a little too like how like I would look at someone like that and be like, how are we not knowing you're a serial killer? Because
for real.
You're in a club dressed like in a trench coat. Like, come on. Like,
yeah. He looks like Tommy Wiseau in a club in the 80s. Like,
that's perfect. Exactly what he looks like.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that at all.
Looks like Tommy Wiseau. Sounds like Brad Dourif.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Tommy Wiseau is just three dwarves in his trench coat anyway. But
yeah, I cannot express love for this show enough, and especially if you're a fan of the movie series, like this is a must watch.
Do you need to watch the older movies to enjoy the TV show?
You should.
I don't think you need to watch them to enjoy the show, but you should, because you would be lost on a lot of things if you don't.
Yeah, because there's a lot of callbacks and references and characters that are important that you wouldn't care about in the show unless you've seen the movie.
I haven't seen them since the 90s.
When Andy and Kyle come in, if you haven't seen the original movies, you're going to be kind of like, who the fuck are these
I feel
people?
like you at least need to see the first two movies, and then actually no, you need to see most of the movies.
I've seen the first three.
To understand Nika, you have to have watched.
You have to watch the last two. Like, I think the first two and the last two are the most important. Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, and Child's Play 3. You can give your take on those for canon. Yeah. But they do, I mean, they even reference their transgender son from Seed of Chucky in it. And Don Mancini has even said that there is a strong possibility that he will show up on the show eventually, because they want to bring back as many. I want to see them bring Chris Sarandon back as like the detective. Like, I love it. Just
that'd be pretty cool.
I like it.
When I first started watching it, the only criticism I had was it started off a little bit jarring, or like a little bit hard for me to take because of the young teenage performances at the beginning. And it was like the first two episodes were just a little bit hard for them to get footing, but honestly it just like it quickly turned around. And I think Brent, you were the one that sent me a message. You're like, they took your notes, and it's like they changed everything. And literally, like, by the time I complained about it, and then the next episode, it got so much better.
No, when I said that, it was because we were talking about how jarring it was to see Battlefield Park, and to see the Devil's Punch Bowl and the big cross, and then you complained about it on that one podcast. Like, it throws me out every time I see that damn cross, and I know it's Devil's Punch Bowl. The next episode, there's literally a scene of the two kids standing right next to the cross, and the cross takes up like the entire screen. And I'm like, they listen to our show and are saying "fuck you, Mark" right now.
That's amazing.
It was really funny, but like I love the show. Like it was a lot of fun.
What's it airing on?
It was on Syfy. Sci-Fi.
Isn't it FX?
Wait, Sci-Fi in Canada is FX, isn't it? I know it was Sci-Fi Network, but I don't know. It might also be FX.
I haven't had cable for like a decade.
Yeah.
Is Space gone? The Space.
It's called CTV Sci-Fi now.
Yeah.
That's a much worse name.
They renamed all of their so the comedy channel is now CTV Comedy, and they renamed a bunch of them, so it's terrible.
Didn't Steve put them all up? Because I know he put all the movies up.
We don't do that.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's move on to my TV show of the year. It actually just came out, and it's on Disney Plus as well. It's a docu-series about the Beatles. It's called The Beatles Get Back. It's
There are so many fucking documentaries on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Because I also forgot that it's Nat Geo as well.
Yep. Yes, they do. But
There's a lot.
So The Beatles Get Back is directed by Peter Jackson. There's only 3 episodes, but it's over 6 hours long because it's Peter Jackson.
He doesn't know how to do anything small.
It's true, but
a lot of the Beatles speaking.
In 5 years from now, it'll be 10 hours long.
Just walking. I appreciate the length of it because it chronicles the recording of.
Someone just clip that part of Eric saying he appreciates the length of it. Just clip that.
We'll make it one of those sound effects. So it chronicles the recording of Let It Be, their last main album together, and the rooftop concert, which was their last performance live, and the weeks leading up to it. It's phenomenal. And for all those people who said that Yoko Ono was the reason why the Beatles broke up, they need to watch this. Because this is supposedly the turbulent time, but basically it's just a bunch of guys that are hanging out. They're still friends, but they seem to be at the end of their artistic road together. But they're not angry at each other about that, which is awesome. And Yoko Ono is just sitting there in the corner, rolling joints and eating food, and that's all she's doing the whole time. Occasionally singing, and she's not a reason for them to break up. Maybe the singing, but
Worst singer, Yoko Ono or Russell Crowe?
I appreciate Yoko Ono's.
We all have to think about that.
I appreciate Yoko Ono's art more than Russell Crowe's, to be fair. That being said, watch it. It's phenomenal. If you're a fan of the Beatles, it's amazing. I love it. It's so good. I've watched it with my wife a couple times already, and 6 hours long. Get to it. It's good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No one watched it. Just me.
You and Hawk.
Did me and Hawk?
Hawk was raving about it last time.
Damn it! I should have had Hawk on here.
I give zero. You can behold the field upon which I grow my fucks about the Beatles.
They're my favorite band, so
yeah.
I feel you.
That's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
Yeah,
I'm all for a documentary on any subject as long as the documentary is done well.
It is. It's well done.
I could watch a documentary about people licking stamps if it's produced well. If it's told well.
I think I've never seen the Beatles actually write a song. They show them writing these songs that become iconic songs, and they're just going do 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 do. And maybe we'll write, and they start adding swear words.
That was their most iconic songs.
That's true. They start adding swear words in the songs. They're we probably have to change that later. Stuff like that. It's it's amazing. It's a good look at the behind the scenes of one of the greatest bands ever. Video games. Dave, what's your favorite game of 2021?
Valheim.
Battlefield 2042?
I haven't played it. I haven't bought it.
Probably.
Valheim, yeah? I thought that came out last year for some reason.
Nope. It hit early access. Where did I have it here? It hit early access February 2nd of this year. It is a survival sandbox video game by Swedish developer Iron Gate Studio, published by Coffee Stain Studios, who released... Oh, I already said that. It's not playable on Linux, which is cool. You play a Viking who has died, and now you are in the land of Valheim. And to get to Valhalla, you'll have to break a bunch of seals and kill a bunch of cool monsters. And it's a little Minecraft. It's a little Conan Exiles. It's a cool action adventure game. You got to go out and get on your boat and sail from island to island and mine ore. And it's a lot of fun. I played with a couple of my friends. The music is phenomenal. The music's actually on Spotify and Google or YouTube Music and everything you can listen to. It's I don't know if you've ever just listened to the Minecraft soundtrack. It's very
I've never played Minecraft.
Oh my god, the soundtrack in Minecraft is so relaxing.
That's why you play that game, is just to melt.
Just to punch stuff and just be like and just zone out. Valheim's got a little bit of that, except like when night comes, like like night comes and you get attacked by skeletons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as you, unlike Minecraft, where it's just like, oh, do this thing and then get to the end of the dragon, this game has there's I think 5 bosses in different biomes, and each biome is like, okay, like unlock, all right, you start out with like leather and wood, and then it's like, okay, now go unlock copper, and then you can get tin, so you can make bronze, and then from there you want to go to steel or iron, and then steel, and then I think that's it, and then whatever you start fighting dragons and stuff like that until you beat the last boss. But the game's also very early access. It's not optimized at all. Runs like shit.
So is it just a single player adventure? Because I always assumed it was
friends. Play with all
okay.
your
I
friends.
always assumed that it was like an MMO.
No, it's like Minecraft.
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot as well.
I mean, I had so many great moments in that game where my friend and I would it's okay, we got to go find some new land. We got to go find this biome because that's the next thing for us to progress. So we get, in our long ship and, it's my turn to, steer, whatever you call it, and he just sits at the front of the boat. He's got a torch out or whatever. Night comes. We got to eat. Oh shit, this is sea serpent. If our boat breaks,
that's amazing.
We're fucked, right? Okay, we got to get to land. Oh, whatever. All the winds. Every time the wind would turn against us, one of us would go, "Aye, the sea, she be a cruel mistress." Just every time. I had so much fun playing, and the music fucks hard. The music's like calm, and then you get into a fight, and it picks up a bit, and then the first end boss. I don't want to tell you, but when you fight, I think it's like Eichstag or something like that, Eichinger. When you fight that end boss, when the metal kicks in, you're like, what the fuck is this? Why is this music in this game? It's so good. And you can just, hang out and build stuff. I was our farmer, I would fish and I would grow crops and I would make our potions and then I would go hunt wolves and it was a great time. It's a lot of fun. And it's super cheap.
Eric, this is the one that you wanted to get with me, right?
Yeah, it was $18, on Steam.
Yeah, it's okay. I just bought it.
All right.
And if you want, I'll load up a server because I have a server in Virginia. Well, it's not my server, but I have access
in
to
Virginia.
In Virginia. It's a computer my brother built.
In Virginia?
No, he built it here and then shipped it to Virginia.
Oh, fair.
So I can make us a private server and we can play. It's the Geeks with Kids I mean, when I played with my friends, it was Archon because it was I was in charge. So, but it'll be like Geekheim or something. I don't know.
It is downloading.
Yeah,
cool. I got a bunch. I got a bunch in my wallet on Steam because I refunded all of the games that I bought over Black Friday that I then found out were free on the Game Pass. So I was like, oh, get rid of these.
I've put
I got the capture card, so I'm like, get rid of all those ones that I got on the PlayStation. Get rid of all the Xbox ones. I'm a little surprised. I actually thought your game of the year was going to be Back 4 Blood, but then I stopped and realized I'm like, you haven't really talked about that a lot lately.
I love Back 4 Blood.
It's a good game still.
I absolutely love it.
It's broken right now.
It is broken right now. Is the unfortunate thing. Also, I only put like 50 hours into it, whereas this game I put 153 hours into it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's not my most played game this year, but I think overall I definitely had the most fun in Valheim.
Nice.
Good choice.
Anyway, Sean.
So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of tabletop RPGs and regularly, once a week, play Pathfinder 1E. My choice for game for this year is Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous.
Yeah.
It is essentially based off of a story written by the creators of Pathfinder and some other authors, an adventure path. It's based on that, and it literally takes the whole story and then puts it into a more CRPG style game. So similar to things like Baldur's Gate and Tyranny and what was that one that for some reason I can't remember the name of.
This would be a Dave question.
Yeah.
Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So the thing that I really liked about Wrath of the Righteous is the fact that Owlcat Studios, the company that made it, when they first released their first game, which was Pathfinder Kingmaker, a mod made a modification and allowed it to be played turn-based, like Pathfinder is meant to be done. and so they were like, we really like that. Why don't you come here and basically work for us, and you can help us to do that again, but with a new game. And so now it's just a base part of the game where you can turn on turn-based mode, and it acts like Pathfinder First Edition. And I loved the
I got enough use out of my original core rulebook that it's like
falling apart.
absolutely shredded First Edition.
Downstairs. I love Pathfinder.
The game looks amazing. I'm looking at it right now.
I didn't
love like a lookup of it.
I didn't love Pathfinder First Edition at first because I was a huge fan of 3.5 D&D Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 edition. And then a couple years later, I played it and I was like, "This is just that, but better. Why didn't I like this? What's wrong with me?"
Yes. That's the problem. That's the problem Pathfinder nerds are now having with 4th edition. We look back and we go, actually, you know what? This was actually an okay version of D&D. It's just we weren't ready for it. We wanted Pathfinder, which is what we got. And I played Pathfinder for many years.
Yeah. I found 5th edition to be a little too easy. And with too few choices.
That's why we're getting into Pathfinder 2.
But I found 2nd edition Pathfinder to be too jarring in regards to the changes.
Oh, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
But. That's it's a matter of personal preference. I didn't really enjoy it. I tried to start a campaign of 2nd edition with some of my friends who I've been playing RPGs for like 15 years. And like midway through the campaign, I was like, let's just switch to 1st.
See if you can find a copy
That's amazing.
of Fantasy Craft. That is a very fun D20, like D&D-esque, but it works differently. I don't want to like it's still like a roll a D20.
What's it called?
Game. Fantasy Craft. It's from Alderac Entertainment, AEG. Okay. It's a lot of fun. But it takes everything and just kind of spins it a little bit. It's not just like fighter, cleric, wizard stuff. It's different enough that like, because Pathfinder and 3.5 are basically the same game.
Yeah.
But like that game really did a good job before Pathfinder came out of really changing how it felt.
I do want to move on to the game itself because I really enjoyed it. But something to note is if you do like 5th edition, Shadow of the Demon Lord is super duper good and is very similar to 5th edition D&D.
What's the there's a Solasta Crown of the Magister is just straight up 5th edition.
That sounds like copyright infringement, but
no,
I don't know.
They paid Wizards for the license.
Okay.
Yeah. And Baldur's Gate 3 is 5th edition, basically.
Yeah. So Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous follows you during what's the 5th Crusade of one of the nations on Golorian, which is the Pathfinder universe, and you go around and you fight demons and gain what's called mythic ranks, and you choose a path within those ranks, and you can choose things like angel or demon or trickster. There's I think like 10 paths, and they added some more when the Kickstarter got up to its full goals, and I love it. It's amazing. It looks great. It feels good. If you're a fan of TTRPGs, play it. If you're a fan of CRPGs like Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, play it. Turn off the turn-based mode. It feels fun, and you feel very strong. You feel powerful, which is really what you're looking for in a game like this.
I'm definitely going to look into this game. It looks amazing. Just like I'm looking at reviews, and it looks amazing.
I got it. I played Kingmaker when it came out, and I loved it. And then I saw that there was a Kickstarter for Wrath of the Righteous, and I immediately put money into it. And I was like, I loved Kingmaker. I'm going to like this. And I do. I love it. It's amazing.
Paizo's done a really good job of putting out, like, I think they've had basically 5 storylines for the original Pathfinder. There's Rise of the Wrath of the Righteous.
There's like 27 adventure paths that are all canon.
Yeah. And they've put them out as like a card game, which was it's super fun. It's like, well, if like playing D&D with a DM is too much for you, here's a card game where you don't need a DM. It's fantastic, and still roll dice and stuff. It's fantastic. And then it's like, well, if that's no good, there's a computer game where you can play. Or if that's no good, like I have the comic books. Jim Zub did them. It's like, oh, if that doesn't work, there's novels. If that doesn't work, it's like they're getting so much out of the same storyline
Yeah.
which you don't see often. And the way they put it out, where they started out as increments, and it's okay. We put out 6, which is actually the full adventure. Now, if you want, you buy the hard copy. So like you can get it, cheaper. You can get it all. I was working at a distributor when this all came out, so it was like kind of revolutionary. No one was doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And Paizo coming off of being Dungeon and Dragon magazine, and then essentially rivaling Wizards of the Coast, and kind of not quite keeping that momentum, but diverting out in ways that Wizards didn't, has been really awesome.
Probably my favorite part about Pathfinder First Edition is the fact that all of their content is available for free online. If you wanted to go and start playing Pathfinder tomorrow, you could go onto d20pfsrd.com and get all the information to create a character. Yeah, there's a bestiary on there that you can find all the creatures,
Everything that's in
sort
any of their
monster you want.
books.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
like
Any
everything
of their
in
books,
their
not just like the core book, like D&D Beyond. You want the basic rules for D&D? You have the basic rules, which doesn't even include the whole player's handbook.
No.
But Paizo put everything, and I play Starfinder now. Same thing. It's all online. Like we didn't have. I bought a bunch of the books. You don't have to buy them.
No,
It's
you can
phenomenal.
play it completely for free. It's amazing. I love Paizo.
I have to look into this. That's awesome.
And they just unionized. They're the first.
Eric, I think I just
basically
found my first 2 guests.
the first
What up?
tabletop company to unionize. It's actually really incredible.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I remember reading something about that, and I completely forgot it. I just blew it off. I was busy working like 12 hours a day.
I feel bad that because I turned my back on Wizards and went with Paizo for Pathfinder, and then when like 5th edition came out, I was like, "Ooh, this is cool," and I'm like, I should have just stuck with Pathfinder. It's so good. I loved it so much.
FYI, this is
alternate
how I felt when Steve was talking about Dune.
There's an alternate universe where Critical Role didn't switch to 5e for their live game and played Pathfinder, and 5e never blew up, and Pathfinder got super popular with normal people.
If you wanted to listen to a Pathfinder live play, I very much suggest the Glass Cannon podcast.
Oh yeah, I've listened to Glass Cannon.
I've listened to them too.
They are genuinely like my favorite. They play Pathfinder First Edition, and they're phenomenal.
And if you want to listen to a 5e adventure, you can listen to Dead Ice, which is our D&D VOD game.
Run by me. Set in Icewind Dale.
Mm-hmm.
That's super
Featuring
cool.
a terrible bard. That's me.
I'll be
Always
better.
A very familiar name.
Marcus Wren. Yeah. I put that in a D&D generator, and they're like, okay, might as well. It sounds like a Star Wars name. I'll pick that.
I'm sorry for taking up so much time.
Man, it's your favorite thing of the year. That's awesome. Like, it's good to.
That's what this is about.
Exactly. And if we get to like introduce that to someone new to the podcast, and that becomes their new favorite thing, that's an awesome feeling, right? That's great. So now the pressure's on Marcus. What's your favorite game of the year?
Mario.
You've got 15 minutes. Go.
Mine's pretty simple. It's I didn't get a chance to play a lot of new games or a lot of new stuff this year, but one thing that I did get to play that I absolutely freaking loved, and we know it already, was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Well, time to check that off my list.
I'm sorry, it's just one of those. It's the game that, like, at this point, we've discussed this already. Owning a PS5 right now has been like, it's kind of nice just because we have them. But like nothing has really been giving us a PS5 game. We haven't had a PS5 game until this. This is the first game that I feel like, this is what a PS5 game is going to feel like, or at least this is the beginning of the real PS5 games. And it was just such a beautiful game, the great story, familiar characters with some new characters, and just like a great story to the whole thing. I loved it. The only criticism I have is the fact that it wasn't longer. I wanted more. I just wanted to keep on playing it. But I mean, great game, so much fun, tons of like little load like weapons and like extras and things. Like there was so much stuff to do. There was so much to explore. And it was the first time you really got to start feeling the controller do, for the most part, what the controller is supposed to do.
Yeah.
3D audio sound was there. Like everything that you wanted the PS5 to do is happening in that game.
The instant loading is what blew my brain in that. Like
I know, like,
there were no
that-
loading screens.
You no, like, I mean, like, even just the fact, because the game itself is us jumping from go through rifts, and you're literally going into different worlds to different levels and all these kind of
Yeah.
things, and it happens so like simultaneously. Just boom, you're there, you're out, you're there, you're out, and everything's changing, and it does it seamlessly. And then, like, you hop in your spaceship, you fly somewhere, and you're just there. Like, there's no load, and like
Yeah.
those little brackets of, like, you can upload your weapons at the nearest robot and blah, blah, like, none of that crap.
I
None.
remember people when they saw the gameplay, they're like, "Well, they just have that right behind the rift. You can't walk around, but you can walk around the rift. You don't have to go in it." And it just, I don't understand. It's magic. This game is magic. It's beautiful. It's the 16th Ratchet and Clank game, and that formula has not gotten tired. Surprisingly, I still find them endearing and fun.
People still play Mario.
They're awesome.
Yeah, but those
That's
games are
fair.
recycled,
Yeah, but
and they're fun because they're recycled.
So it's Ratchet and Clank. It's fun.
But it's
It's a fun
new.
game.
Like they keep on
But there's
adding stuff.
different stories,
It's
different
Yeah,
characters.
but you still
different
jump
things.
around and shoot stuff, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I like the skating in it. And like it's just
Yeah,
everything felt
the
so
skating,
good, and the
the-
controller
the-
was
the
so
little-
good.
The little alien, like the creatures that you ride, like the snail or the dragon
Yeah.
thing, or whatever. I just loved it. There's just so many, like, and the fun characters. I love, like, all those familiar characters that we're used to in our old games, but seeing their, like, doppelganger versions and stuff was really awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like. I love that they introduced Rivet and who's the little robot? I can't. Oh, I
Clunk.
can't. Oh, what was her name?
This is embarrassing.
This is embarrassing. We did a review on this.
Yeah.
Anyway, the new
we
characters,
talked about this
main
for
characters.
hours.
We did, but that was a long time ago when the game came out. It's
Yeah.
a phenomenal game. It was on my list. It was my number one, but now it has gone to a different Kit.
Kit.
Kit. Yes, you're right. Fine.
Kit.
Oh man. Oh, I cannot recommend this game enough. Like this and that the Astrobot game are the
Astrobot. Yeah.
yeah, those
Or
are the
Astro
two
Playroom.
Astro's Playroom thing. Those are the best demonstrations of what the PS5 can do right now.
I throw Demon Souls in there too, for the visual and auditorial experience. I think those three games.
Does it
are
do
really,
controller?
Like, the persona. What's that?
Does it do the controller thing?
A little bit,
A little bit?
but I mean, like, as far as like where we are visually, like the standards that we can be at now visually in games, I think that game like knocks it out of the park. So I think those three games are really like this is the next generation games.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I actually felt that way about Miles Morales as well, to be fair.
Oh, that was good.
I
was
would
really
say
good.
that, except for the fact that it was toned down for a PS4 release as well.
Yeah.
I
boom.
like the games where they're just all in. Let's do what the system is capable of.
That's why I'm angry about Elden Ring. But
Yeah,
yeah. Rift Apart, amazing. Brent, what's your game of the year?
My game of the year is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do think that I didn't come in here intending to pick that at all, because I figured Mark, I knew you were probably going to pick that just based on us doing the review of it. And I do think it is the best game of the year, and it does deserve to win the awards next week. Or is it this week?
This week.
But I want to shed light on the game that I probably had the most fun other than that playing this year, and I think needs a little more attention shined on it because it's not a very well-known game. So my game of the year is Ender Lily's Quietus of the Nights.
This game is so
it
pretty.
is-
I've
it
never
is-
even heard of it.
It is beautiful. It is the exact type of genre that I am enamored by. It's a Metroidvania with Souls-like difficulty. It's a beautiful progression system, like for the stuff it's all of the upgrades you're going to get through the game, but it created this like brand new style of like combat that I'd never seen in games before that I thought was genius, which is like the game is littered with regular main bosses and mini bosses, and every single time you kill one of them, your character in the game is basically like a little girl who is going through purifying all of these spirits that are stuck on Earth and need to be like purified to be able to ascend. And when she purifies them and ascends them, they basically join her, and you gain them as a new combat style. So for every character you're killing in this game, you are pulling them onto your team and being able to use their abilities in combat, and you get this huge selection of them that you can like really customize how you want to play it. It is beautiful. It's challenging. It is. I can't say enough good things about it. I've seen a lot of people play it and a lot of people shit on it because they struggle with the navigation. The map system in it is a little hard to navigate at times, but it's a small price to pay to look at, because once you finally find where it is you're going, a whole new world opens up to you, and it's just endless possibilities. And it's I can't say enough. It's beautiful game. Beautiful game.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
I wish Metroid Dread was as good as this game was.
Metroid Dread.
Hands down, Metroid Dread would have been my game of the year if it had been anywhere near as good as this game is.
5 buttons to control, 1 motion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Metroid Dread. Why?
That is a beautiful game that is hard as hell just to manipulate. Like, I don't have the dexterity to play that game well.
It's stuck in 2008. That's what that game is. Unfortunately, it's a great game, but it's stuck in the past. That Ender Lilies is a phenomenal game from what I've seen like of it, and I don't have it, but I want to. I like Metroidvania games, so
it's not a big community for it too, which is a shame, because like it's a game that like had a lot of hype built up around it coming out, and then once it came out, it just kind of got overshadowed by games like Returnal coming out around the same time and shortly after Ratchet and Clank, so it kind of like got lost in the shuffle. And I really want to bring it more forward and get people to like see it and play it and enjoy it.
Nice. That's I feel you. Like the smaller games that deserve it, like the Artful Escape should be on my list. I was gonna pick that as my number 1, but I'm not.
That was in contention for me. Grime was in contention for me because they're smaller scale. I mean, the one I'm playing today, Solar Ash, I've only played an hour and a half of it, and so far I'm like, this could be in contention. Like, god damn it, Annapurna is knocking it out of the park.
Well, why don't we
this
do
year.
that now? Like, Annapurna is like a small like. It's a movie theater or movie company, but they've also started doing interactive games, and they've released like some of the best games this year. They did 12 minutes.
They've not had a miss yet.
Artful Escape. They did Maquette. Like this Maquette is also like up there. Like that game was phenomenal. Like that was a good game to play. But that's not my game of the year. My game of the year is Life is Strange True Colors. It's the 5th game in the series. It's the 3rd one after like the 3rd main game. It follows a new protagonist named Alex Chen, and she goes back to her hometown, and it's a graphic adventure. So you're playing in 3rd person, you're going through this whole story, and then the choices you make affect what happens later in the game. And she has psychic powers for a reason, and I love it because the love of music and how music is integrated into her storyline and the storyline of the game, and it's phenomenal. It's such a heartfelt game, and I love single player games, and I know a lot of people are sort of shit on it. Like most people want multiplayer of some sort, but this is a beautiful story driven game. And if you play it on Twitch, you can actually set it so that the people watching you pick your decisions for you. Which I think is hilarious and dangerous, but it's a beautiful game. The soundtrack I've been listening to like constantly since it came out, and they have like big names on it. They have like Radiohead is on the soundtrack, and Kings of Leon. Like it's phenomenal. I cannot say enough good about this game.
Radiohead took time away from their own game?
Well, their game.
Did you get copyright strike for that or no?
I did not. I did the kid.
Yeah. They released it for free on the Game Pass like as well. Like it's out there for free. I can't see why you would get copyright strike for it, but I mean, I can see the concern.
Keep in mind that you usually get the copyright strike once it's in your VOD and it doesn't get muted. And Twitch has gotten pretty good at muting things that aren't supposed to be there in your VOD.
Yeah. And it was part of the game, so I don't know if they didn't mute anything in my VOD, so I don't know if it's still there. I'll check it later. It's a beautiful game, the Radiohead one as well, but it's not really a game. It's more of a art exhibit,
interactive art.
Yeah.
That's like what we explained. That's why I would have liked to have picked Artful Escape as game of the year for me, but I can't justify it as it's not a game. It's
sort of a game.
An experience.
It is an experience for sure.
It's a visual and auditorial experience because I mean, for like 90% of the game, you're pressing one button and that's it. and you don't even have to.
There's
press
a
that
jump button
You
as
only press
well.
that button for.
Listen, I played Raptor Call of the Shadows back in 1994. That game, you only press one button. Okay, it's the shoot button.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 buttons. So Artful Escape gameplay is one step up from My Name is Mayo. So
Is that a game?
Yeah.
that is a game. That is a game where the object to get the platinum in it is literally to tap a jar of mayo 10,000 times. So you literally just sit there and click one button.
That's like
10,000
Diablo
times.
breaking mouse type game. Yeah. No. Anyway, that was our games. Those are games every year. So like, that's awesome. We did all of our things, but I know we have some parents here, and I wanted to. Oh wait, you know what? Before we do the parent thing, are there any books or music or anything that came out this year? I know, Brent. I'm surprised you're not saying churches, but Sean.
No, I was. I literally
the new Churches
just
album
about to
was
throw it to
real
me.
good.
Well, I'm going to Sean first. Throw what else you like this year?
So I have one of each. My favorite album this year was Nowhere Generation by Rise Against. I don't know if anyone is a fan. They're very, very like anti disestablishment music. I love it. They're amazing. They've been my favorite band since I was like 15 years old or something. I'm 30, so
Fair.
And book is it came out last year technically, but I've read the series now like 3 times in a row, and it's Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh yeah,
which is book number 4 in the Stormlight Archives. And it's phenomenal.
I just started them. Them this year. I started them because I needed something after finishing all the Patrick Rothfuss books, and I'm just like, well, I don't think the 3rd one's ever going to come out.
I am legitimately jealous of the fact that you get to read them and experience them for the first time.
Yeah.
And Rhythm of War, the entire end of the book just made me bawl my eyes out. It was extremely embarrassing because I was at work and listening to it on Audible. And I was sitting in the back corner, literally painting tile lines in someone's house, and my boss was like, "How you doing over there?" I'm like, "I'm fine," trying my best to hold it back.
That's amazing. I look forward to it. I haven't gone that far in the first book because I read a lot of books at the same time.
It's a slower book to start as you get introduced to all the characters, but it's a great series.
Nice. Marcus, do you have anything that you want to add to this other than not the children's section?
You know what? I don't. Actually, yes. You brought it into my life. Yeah, Eric, you brought it into my life, and now it's here. And now I've gotten one on the way. It's the Turbo Man doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I knew that existed, I knew I needed to have it. Jingle All the Way is my number 1 Christmas movie that I have to watch every year. I just love it. It just brings back way too much joy for me. And my hope is, this is the reason I bought it, my hope is that one day in the future, we will be watching the traditional Christmas movie, and my son will be like, "God, I wish I could have a Turbo Man." And then that Christmas is when he will get one under the damn tree.
That's
he will
amazing.
Get his Turbo Man. I'm going to hide it. I'm going to keep it hidden and like pristine until the day I hear him be like, "I wish I had a Turbo Man."
What if instead he says, "Can we stop watching this shit movie every year, Dad?"
In that case, I will take the Turbo Man and put it in my collection, and it'll stay there.
And cry slightly, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Your son
I'll be crying anyway.
Your son has to tap it every day before they go to school.
That boy wrong.
So yeah, that was something that was kind of cool, and thank you, Eric.
Yeah, no problem. I would have bought it for you if I had stayed at the Walmart longer, but I did want to stay at a Walmart longer.
I cannot believe that you actually saw one here, because apparently they're like impossible to find. So yeah, but again, they came out originally in February.
Oh, crazy.
So like the fact that one was lingering around until now is pretty rare. So
it was a Cambridge Walmart, so that
makes sense.
That explains it. Yeah. Dave, is there anything you want to add to that list?
Brent, are you going to talk about the Churches album with John
Yeah.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
Or just the Churches? Okay. Then I will just shout out Billy Talent did a song with Rivers Cuomo of Weezer. That's very good. Billy Talent's like one of my absolute favorite bands.
End of Me or something?
Yeah, End of Me. And I was like, man, like I know I've been listening to a ton of music, and I'm like, that came out in 2019, that came out in 2020, that came out at the end of 20. I'm like, shit, what came out this year that I could say? Because I'm like, there's like, you know, the new Tool album from 2019. Oh, it's fucking phenomenal if you love Tool. And like there's a new The Killers, which I've been listening to a ton lately. Yeah, it's called Pressure Machine. I don't know if I've listened to it yet. I've been listening to a ton of The Killers recently. I don't know. I don't recognize any of these titles though. So I'm like, have I listened to these, or have I just been listening to the same 3 songs on loop?
That's fair.
I hear it on the radio sometimes.
So, Dave, a couple.
I don't have. There's no radio.
That's fair.
I'm just YouTube music.
So, Dave, a couple years ago, I was asked to record a couple songs for Christmas, and I got brought into a recording studio in Toronto, and they're like. And I was going through the hallway looking at the albums that were recorded there, and Billy Talent recorded all their albums there. I was like, what the fuck? I'm recording in the same studio?
Don't know what happened to me. Like, I became like a punk in like my 20s, where it was like Alexis on Fire, Billy Talent, Sum 41, all became like some of my favorite bands. Happen to be Canadian. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why. I just these are like my favorite bands. I'm on top of like, you know, Queens of the Stone Age, Muse.
You know, I know Dallas Green, right?
Dude, my best friend, who's a firefighter, his wife, who's
does he still have his scissors?
Lived down the street, Eric, from the lead singer of Alexis on Fire, who is a firefighter, and
you're saying
whose
that.
wife is a massage therapist. So my best friend's wife got a massage
from his wife.
Yeah.
I grew up in St. Catharines, so I was friends with all of the people of the scene there. So, yeah. Crazy.
I'm wildly jealous.
He's actually as nice as you think. Like that's
yeah,
but at least he was when I knew him. So
we're all super nice.
Yeah, which is crazy. Brent, Churches Me.
Yeah, no,
I loved this album. By the way,
it's so good.
It's fantastic. Like that's Churches, hands down, is like have been my favorite band for several years, ever since Eyes Wide Open came out. Like, oh my god, they're so good. And I always I forget to think like, you know, oh, are they got a new album coming out anytime? Are they working on something? So like I will Google like when is their next album coming out, and I always do this when it's like literally. Yeah, they got one coming out in 2 days. That is how the last 2 albums have been for me. So I just seem to luck into it. But this one was phenomenal. Like the entire thing was inspired by their love of the horror genre, and everything has ties to their favorite horror movies. So much so that they even collaborated on this album with John Carpenter. And they had one of their original songs remixed by John Carpenter, and it is unbelievable.
It's
how
fucking
good
perfect.
it is.
Also, Robert Smith is on this album too, which is incredible. Like,
and then they also took like an original John Carpenter song and they did their remix of it for the album and everything. Like, it's just it's
such a good album.
It's super fans of like of a genre that I'm a super fan of, and like it's just all worlds melding together, and it was just such an amazing album. And like I think they're like the third album was a little bit of a letdown for me. This one brought them right back up to where they need to be. Like,
I agree. Their third album wasn't as good as the others.
Screen Violence?
Yes.
Screen Violence is the new one, yeah.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. I'm gonna just throw out a book for my thing of the year, and it's Dave Grohl's The Storyteller: Tales of Life and Music. I'm listening to the audiobook right now, and right at the beginning he talks about how he talks about music and influences throughout his life, and Dave Grohl is, you know, just an amazing person in general. But listening to him at the beginning, he's like, I can't play any of the music, or else we would this book would be $1 billion. I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. But he's so endearing, and he does the whole book, and like it's so good. If you're a fan of Dave Grohl or music or anything, like it's a great another behind the scenes music thing that I really liked. This is my behind the scenes here.
That's like a theme this year.
Wasn't he recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
But like for the third time.
Something like that. Because he was like Nirvana and then Foo Fighters, and then him.
No, just himself. Yeah.
Oh shit! The DGs. Has anybody listened to that? Dave Grohl did a Bee Gees, like the whole Foo Fighters did a Bee Gees cover, And Dave Grohl went, easiest album I've ever recorded.
Yeah, it was like 4 songs, 4 or 5
him
songs.
And apparently his falsetto. He's like, yeah, I've never sung like that before. Super easy. I should do it all the time.
So they recorded this record for Free Record Day, and then like people snatched them up right away. Like I went to all the record stores in Guelph. I was like, I guess I'm not getting it. He also for Hanukkah has been recording songs every day of Hanukkah. So there's a new song every day, and it's beautiful. Check it out. It's on YouTube. All right,
Bee Gees and Foo Fighters, Hail Satin.
Hail Satin.
And the other side is Alive.
Let's see. What's Dave Grohl Hanukkah? Grohl Hanukkah.
Put on your yarmulke. It's actually
Hanukkah sessions.
Tonight's the last night of Hanukkah, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and tonight's the wrap-up song is a Kiss cover. So that just gives you an example of what he does. Okay, parents, are there things that you want to talk about, like the best kid things? I'm gonna go first because I've been going last. My favorite video game that I've been playing with my kids this year is Just Dance 2022. We're actually going to have a full review about this game on Thursday, released on this podcast. But, Just Dance is always fun. We're playing it with the Switch, so the Switch controllers are actually good. A number of years ago, we reviewed it on the PS4, and my kids weren't getting registered by the camera, which sort of seemed a little weird and racist. But, well, it registered her friends, who are very white. So I was like, this is very weird.
Oh no. I do feel you. My son is a person of color, as my wife is. As you can see, I am very clearly not.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of red.
Wow. You can't say that. Most of the kids have been laughing.
Only a
so
ginger
hard.
can call another ginger. I'm a fan of
No,
Tim
that's
Minchin.
not allowed. Not allowed. It's not okay. I'm offended.
My wife is very pale. She's of German and Dutch heritage. So she's
That's
very,
also, I don't know if you're aware, that's
Pale
also a
ass
type of
pale.
German.
yeah, that's fair.
Northern German. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've been playing Just Dance 2022. The songs are really fun. I don't think the selection is as good as other years, but it's still pretty good. They did some new visual things, which we'll talk about that on the podcast or the review on Thursday. I actually recorded it with my wife and my eldest daughter, so that'll be fun. I also have a board game of the year, which is The Adventure Begins, Dungeons and Dragons. I know this has been out, but this is the year we bought it and played it, and it's a phenomenal way to introduce kids to Dungeons and Dragons. There's 3 different paths you can take. You can pick your own character, and then there's funny little tasks that you do. So one of them is like you have to do a dance competition with one other player in the game, and the winner gets something, or the loser gets something taken away. It's a fun game. The final thing. See, Dave, you took my bit of bringing in props. Is the Dungeons and Dragons, the Young Adventurers collection. It's a 4-book collection series for kids getting introduced to Dungeons and Dragons, and pretty much it talks about the different things. So there are 4 books: Monsters and Creatures, Dungeons and Tombs, Warriors and Weapons, Wizards and Spells. I'm currently going through Wizards and Spells with my daughter because we're sort of getting into D&D more and more. And they talk about each class, each type of monster, and then they give an example of it. And it's not like stat based or anything. It's all more about learning about each class and each monster. And it's really, really cool. It's written by Jim Zub. So Canada, yeah. And
there's a new one coming out at some point. It's just been postponed because of the pandemic, but he did tweet that they were working on it.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to it. My kid has really enjoyed it. We also got a novel, but she didn't really understand the creatures and stuff in it, so that's why we started with the Young Adventurers Guide.
Do you have the ABCs and 1, 2s, 3s of D&D?
I don't, but it's in my wish list on Amazon, which I'm gonna get.
My nephew, who's I think 4 now, when he comes over, he knows like some of the monsters now because my sister and her husband read that to him because I bought it for them.
I should read we should get it for my middle child, who's just
you got a new baby, so
yeah, that's true.
Think ahead there, Eric.
Exactly, it's true.
B is for beholder.
Is M for mimic?
I think so. Yeah, I think Mind Flayer might be a little too cosmic.
Is A for Aboleth?
No, it's probably I would hope maybe an aleph, which is a type of like spirit.
Really?
Hmm.
Aboleths
I
are
think
weird.
an aboleth again is too cosmic horror.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's got
I mean, to
six
be fair-
eyes and 6 tentacles, and it's a giant fish, and it can read your mind. And if too many of them get together, they're going to open a gateway to the far realm and invade our universe.
and also, if they touch you, you can no longer breathe air and can only
That's
breathe
right.
underwater.
That's
Good
right.
luck.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep.
Sean, do you have any books or games or anything for kids of this year?
I
sort of just sprung this on you.
No, absolutely, I love it.
I hear Lego's good.
Legos
His
are
kid likes
not
playing
good.
with miter saws.
Yeah. No, that's just John. This year something that came out was the Paw Patrol movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
My wife hates Paw Patrol. She hates it. She doesn't like any of the
'Cause she hates
characters.
cops, right?
Doesn't like the main character kid. Doesn't like anyone in the town. I kind of like it. I mean, it's fun. My son loves it.
Mm.
That movie, though, my wife loved it. I loved it. My whole family loved it, and he didn't really care.
Is that what he was watching when I was over there working on that floor? Because I remember because they were outside in the backyard and he had the tablet and it was like cranked full volume and I swear it was just endless Paw Patrol coming through the window while trying to work.
It's so funny because like
loves Paw Patrol.
It's like emotional and funny. Like that movie was really good. And like
considering what it is, yeah.
When I saw it with my daughter, I think I might have been the loudest person laughing at one moment in that theater because at one point I think it's Marshall who says they get into traffic and then they say green means go, right? And I was like, ah. And then everyone's just like, oh. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the loud parent in the audience.
It was good.
Oh god, I'm the Robert De Niro here.
It's so good. Marcus, is there? Oh, sorry, Sean. Is there anything else from?
Not that I can currently think of off the top of my head.
That's fair. What about you, Marcus? Anything kid-wise that?
I just think that's the greatest kids show.
Sorry, you garbled. Can you say that again?
We talked about Bluey. Bluey is still, I think, just one of the greatest kids shows that I've ever watched.
Mm-hmm.
But my son still is not really interested in it. It's more for me. He watches like 2 or 3 episodes and then gets bored and plays in his tunnels. And then I'm left there watching the show, but I love watching it, so I'm good with it.
So what you need to do is you need to give him a magic xylophone so you can play that magic xylophone game with him. Yeah, that's right. Parenting jokes.
But for us, because he's still pretty young, like he hasn't really experienced any there's no video games for him yet. There's none of that kind of stuff yet. So until that kind of stuff happens, we're still pretty simplistic here. He loves his Dora the Explorer. Him and my wife watched the live action Dora movie.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, it held his attention for a fair bit, which was pretty cool because he doesn't usually care about live action things. But as soon as he recognized that it was kind of Dora, he was like, "Oh," he paid attention. So that was kind of cool. But he loves the cartoon still. So I mean, unfortunately, I'm still watching reruns of Dora a lot.
How old are your kids?
My son is 1 month. But he'll be 2 in February.
So soon, oh man. Mine are 7, 3, and what's the date today? Still 4 3/4.
Like 4 months, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine will be 3 in at the end of May.
Yeah.
And me and my wife will be married for 3 years in April. So
nice. Well, congrats and happy anniversary.
Don't do the math on that, parents.
Nope.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Oh man, that like this year has been good. Like Bluey. So Bluey again. I was watching an episode the other day, and it actually sort of happened in real life too. Like we bought a bunch of IKEA furniture. I don't know if you remember this episode of Bluey, where the parents are building their furniture, and the kids are playing in the boxes, and they're building this whole like thing, and then the kids, the parents are sort of fighting because IKEA furniture.
It's like, you're trying to put together.
So why not? But then they look out at their kids and they're just like, oh. And I was like, this happened to us a couple of days ago. Why am I crying at Bluey again?
The one that gets me is the one where the kids sneak into the parents' bed and they're trying to get them back into their own beds. I can't remember all of it, but I remember there being like all these like heartwarming moments throughout the episode, and I'm just sitting there like, why, Bluey? Why do you do this to me?
We gotta have a Bluey episode. That's what's gonna happen. We're just gonna talk about Bluey. But
I'll just watch Bluey all day tomorrow or something.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah. So for everyone here, thank you guys for coming on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to where we're going in the next year. There's a lot of good things coming. I think we're gonna do a small what we're looking forward to in 2022 episode, just like a bonus episode, because this is going to be our second last main episode. Our last main episode is going to be a read through of something that I sent to these guys. So some of them, Sean, I'll send you the script as well if you want to join it.
You didn't send anything.
I sent it. I put it in the Geeks with Kids chat on Facebook.
Discord?
When?
No, Facebook a long time ago, and you looked at it. We'll talk about off screen.
No,
anyway,
no, I don't have Facebook. Aaron.
Wait, still the same,
I know what we're doing, but I've never been sent anything.
Yeah. We'll talk about it. Yeah. We'll talk about it screen. Anyway, that'll
Can
be
I
in a
just
couple
really
weeks.
quickly say that I'm shocked that we're Geeks with Kids and not one of us at any point in, talking about 2021 brought up Loki.
Yeah,
I love Loki, but it wasn't the top of my.
Or
we did do a
WandaVision,
review on him.
or Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I like WandaVision better than Loki, actually.
Guess what? Marvel's not everything.
Hawkeye also very
Basically
good.
is,
Hawkeye's very good so far.
Well, we're talking about random stuff. Deathloop, 67% off on the Humble Bundle. That's $27 Canadian.
that's pretty good.
I like Deathloop as well. I know
Like,
Brent,
just
me and
came
Brent have differing opinions, although they're sort of the same.
I enjoy the game. I really do. I enjoy the hell out of the game. I just think it was misadvertised. That's my
100%. 100%.
But besides that, I think it's a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're done. So thank you guys for coming on. Thank you everyone out there for listening to us. We really do appreciate it. We have one more main episode, and then we'll be back. We'll be taking a break, and then we'll be coming back in January because we need to spend some time with our toys. I mean, our families. Our families.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Definitely the toys. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys soon. Good night. Bye. Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.